This is Calicat the Calicaster. And this is a review of the Orville episode 3, the Morality Paradox. So in this episode we have a Sillian space Chimera episode. We have that they go to a weird, mysterious planet where a neuron planet, that neuron like mind planet, where the aliens have created a holodeck that makes it all forested looking. And they go down there and they're on the holodeck, and they go down there and it's clearly a holodeck. And they encounter a high school, Oakwood High School. So they go down on the planet, Oakwood High School. Oakwood High School is the title of the Oakwood High. Is the title of a rejected spin-off of the fictional adventures of On Location, and it eventually became, I believe, it became Strange Semesters after Semesters, and then Strange Semesters was repeated into the other one, and then it became Andover, a Sillian story about planet Andover, Pine Hill-like planet with Pine Hill-like elements going on. So they go to the planet. I'm sure they didn't see that, though, even though it's similar. It's the same source. Seth MacFarlane likes John Hughes movies, and we like John Hughes movies. So we're like, okay, let's do a John Hughes scene where this bullies rough up the one guy, and there's a giant kaiju in it, and that kind of thing, and just do a weird kaiju bully, and yeah. There was one character returning to the planet who isn't really returning to the planet. He's really trapped. They go on a adventure with that the high school to fight the kaiju, and then they zap to another realm where they're on a plane. Something out of the Millennium, that TV show, movie years ago. Also out of Twilight Zone kind of thing. Then they go to a lake where they they messed with the light filter to make it look darker. I don't know why they did that. Maybe that whole segment of this in the middle is dark for some reason. It's because they messed with the light filter and made it darker. I'm assuming that was during COVID. They filmed this, so they kind of had to like keep them out of range, although they kind of were in range. The history teacher was clearly modeled after the character Roger from On Location, in the On Location books, Sillian Saga as well, which apparently Seth MacFarlane's a fan. Before, I don't know how he could be, because he couldn't have read the On Location stuff during making Orville season 3. But he must have read the Sillian version. He's a fan of Andover. He read Andover. Oh, this is like John Hughes. Yeah, it kind of was. We have the storybooks. It's probably not. It probably is John Hughes. It's probably what he's thinking of. Then we go into the airplane thing. He's probably thinking of airplane and disaster movies and Twilight Zone and stuff like that. Here's the land the plane. Then they go on to this weird the rafting thing out to across the lake, and there's like a Loch Ness monster thing, squid thing that attacks them. Then they go to a weird staircase that goes on forever out of like a creepy horror kind of anthology thing, bottomless pit thing. Then there's then they discover there's a holographic emitter, which they then it's the Mocklin grave. After the plane one, they go to the Mocklin mortuary gravesite thing, morgue, and the Mocklin creature attacks them. A dead zombie attacks them, and then they go to the other thing. Do the other two, and then they go to they allegedly send out a landing party to look for them. Can't find them, and they're gonna go back. But when the landing party goes down, it's desolate like it should be. The planet's supposed to be desolate. Then they apparently rescue them after they blew up the holographic transmitter, and when they discover it's Kalon. It's like a trap, but it's actually not. It's bait and switch all the way through this thing. It's the fourth version of Mystery, where you don't even know what's going on until the last minute. It's that version of Mystery. You're introduced to the final girl in the beginning, but then, like the first kind of mystery, but then they bait and switch, and they say, no, actually, it is the final girl, but it's not who you think. So at the end, it's someone else. The MacGuffin is something else, something sort of a follow-up thing to the episode where they went to that planet where everything goes fast, like in that old classic Trek episode, the Splinter of the Mind's Eye. No, Dagger of the Mind's Eye, something like that. So yeah, I don't call it Splinter of the Mind's Eye. It was called the Mind's Eye or something like that, or Eye of the Beholder or something like that. I think that's what it was. Yeah, so where the time was going differently. Apparently, an evolved sort of immortal Q-like Sillian lady shows up and tells him it's all a simulation. The ship wasn't killed by the Kazon. None of that other stuff actually happened. It was all my holodeck thing to show you about. To explore how you might die is basically what's going on. So it's kind of elaborate. Early on in the throes of the pandemic, we were encouraging the JP channel, which did a lot of the Orville stuff, to keep going because they're making new ones right now. He got in contact with the Orville people more than we did, and he talked to them. So yeah, he kept going until this new one came out. So anyway, we were actually not there, but we encourage him anyway. But this episode is remarkably similar to a non-location and Sillian Realms story, a Star Trek-like story. Several of them, including the ship being attacked, but it's really an illusion. Done that a few times, and the Space Vanguards, but other than not Canary Space, it's nothing like that. Well, there's a godlike being, a little bit of Canary Space. But yeah, it's like it's a cow-cat story, but it's not. It seems to be all over the place. There was an episode back in the day called the Nebraska Paradox, an unused script that has these beats in it, and there's like a crazy high school scene in the academy. There's a crazy shuttle ride thing, plane thing. There's a crazy planet, and at the end there's a Q-like being. Very similar story. I think he might have also gotten a hold of that script, which was briefly online and scripted, described years before Sillian Space was official, when we just had Starship Locations, Chimera and stuff, and there was some old stuff which was taken down because the Chimera fan film was coming out in 2019. We took it down, but obviously some people got a hold of it, and they read it. For a while there, my Deep Space Nine and Voyager script, Mark's Cars was up there, so that's gone. That ended up in Star Trek Strange New Worlds all over the place, so yeah, so we know where that script went. We're not compensated, but we don't mind because it's cool. Anyway, so that's a review of the Orville Morality Paradox. Title. Anyway, so yeah.